All right, hi everybody. Ryan here again, coming to you from the back of my trailer. Down here at the Petro in Eagan, Louisiana off I-10. It's like we got a little swamp back there, probably some alligators and whatnot messing around in there. So we'll stay away from that. But the reason I'm in the back of the trailer is I just booked another load. I've got a load out of St. Gabriel, Louisiana. I'm down here by Baton Rouge, about 100 miles from where I'm at now, roughly. That's going up to Richmond, Indiana. I'm delivering that on Friday, and possibly I might be able to deliver it on Thursday if I drive a little bit during the day tomorrow, but it don't have to be here till Friday. I just booked another load over out of Vandalia, Ohio, which is over by Dayton, not too far from Richmond, 40, 50 mile-ish. And that's going right up to North Canton to the Sam's Club, pretty close to where I'm at up there. Delivering Saturday morning, so we're going to grab that up. Pays pretty well, like $800 on the gross side to go, I don't know, 230 miles roughly. So I think it's in the high 3, low 4 range-ish, I think. So with that, it's a Sam's Club load. It's probably some type of food product. I'm assuming. I haven't looked up the place yet where I'm picking up. But in the dispatch, they had food grade trailer and no damage to the inside of the trailer, no leaks, and no nails in the floor. I don't know if I talked about this earlier. I picked this trailer up down when I was down in Virginia when I got that cabinet load out of Culpeper, Virginia. And if you ever do a cabinet load, it says, and it's a drop and hook, it says right in the dispatch in big red letters, make sure the trailer that you're dropping is nail free. And the reason for that is when you unload these cabinets, you got to slide them across the floor. So you're pushing a big cabinet down through here and you hit a nail and it like almost rips, like you about tip it over and then you about rip the bottom of the cabinet off. Well, whoever dropped this trailer down there obviously didn't read that or didn't care or whatever, because there's nails all up and down through here. And the problem, like I said, just that last pickup I have going back home here at the end of the week, you know, it says no nails. And I'm going to be delivering most likely Friday morning, and I'm going to be picking that up Friday afternoon. I'm getting loaded tomorrow, and my trailer's going to be loaded, so I've got time today. And I don't want any delays because I'm hoping to get back home Friday night or Friday evening. So we don't need any delays, so I'm just going to take these nails out now. So I don't want to get there and they say, well, you got to go tear these nails out. Then they make you late for your appointment and all that. So I just don't want any problems. So I always I carry a claw hammer with me. This is just a little cheap one. I think I actually bought this at a truck stop. Mainly for nails or any other problems, or if I need to pry on something. Or you can check your tires with it too if you don't like kicking them. And for security, if you got somebody trying to get in the truck or something, you got a claw hammer there, which might be a little bit of a deterrent. So so I know I've had people ask me before. I had one guy, a new guy here. He didn't call me beforehand. But he was like, oh, he told me the story afterwards where, you know, he was out in California and took a load out there and they left all the nails in it. And then I guess the receiver didn't know, it was two kind of idiots, didn't really know what was going on or whatever out there. And he had a pretty smart idea for California. I got to hand it to him. He actually went to a Home Depot, and you know, out in California at the Home Depots and stuff, you got guys out there that are doing like that hang around and go do drywall, little odd jobs for cash money. So he just rolled his truck and trailer in there and gave him $40, and they tore the wood and the nails that was left in it out for him, and they even took the wood. So they were even happy to take the wood. So that kind of works out if you want to spend $40 in California. I mean, that's an idea, pretty good idea. Or you can just get the claw hammer and pull them out yourself. So usually not too hard to pull out. Some of them find a harder one. These have been in here for a while because I wasn't really expecting to keep this trailer. But sometimes the, like this one here, if I can get down, the head here sometimes that'd be broken off to where you can't. If I can get this down there, I can't get a hold of it. You see, it just comes off. So what you can do, you can just straighten it up. If I can hit it. A little bit easier said than done. Now, long story short, you can just drive the nail through the floor, down through. If you can, that's one option you have. If there isn't a steel cross member underneath it. So, just a few little tips there. This is not really what this video is about. I'm gonna throw some load board reviews or searches on here in the middle of this video. I don't want to drag this out too long, but I wanted to talk about the last video I posted just a little bit. You know, I was out at a shop out in Oregon, in Portland, and got some tires done and kind of took to the cleaners. And I don't know, it was kind of a long video. I apologize for that. It kind of went a lot. It really didn't need to be that long, but if you guys know me and you watch me, I'm kind of passionate about that type of stuff. I mean, I do all my own maintenance, typically do my own maintenance and repairs and all that. And because I mean, you go into these places and you get taken. I mean, there's a whole micro economy out here in trucking, basically just built around just taking money out of drivers and owner operators and trucking companies, big carriers to an extent. I mean, but those guys are like the big mega carriers and stuff like that. They end up halftime they get out of paying, or they get such a discount because they got so many trucks. It's like the guys out here that got a truck or a couple of trucks that were the ones that end up paying for everything, you know, or paying full price for everything. And like I said, if you don't know what you're looking at or what they're telling you, I mean, it's even worse. So that's why I do this, try to educate people with what I know the best I can, and try to prevent that from happening to people out here, because it ain't right. You know, why should the little guy be the one keeping these shops, keeping the lights on in these shops? Why don't the JB Hunts, the Snyders, the Warners, why don't they pay the big bills? You know, they get everything, you know, half price because they got so many trucks and everybody's afraid to make them mad. I don't know. So it's just like I said, I know that went kind of long, but it's just frustrating to me that type of stuff happens out here. And I know better. I had been up all night. I started like at 8 o'clock the night before. It was getting to be like 3 o'clock when I got that bill. I was already getting aggravated. I had other things that I wanted to do. I mean, I had a whole agenda of stuff, of kind of leisure activity, other stuff I wanted to do. And after they came out there and bum rushed me and tried to get me for all this nonsense, and then I just grabbed the bill and didn't even look at it. You know, I should have went through it right there and be like, what is this? What is this? I mean, tire switch, come on. I mean, so, I mean, I'm not blaming anybody as far as that. I mean, I should have took the time and went through it. So I'm just passing that along. That's just stuff to look out for, guys. I mean, question that stuff when you see it. I mean, like I said, I just had other things in my mind, and it was just done with it. So, and I walked out. So it is what it is. Pay the price. So that's it on that. I'm going to tear the rest of these nails out in here. And then after that, we're going to do a couple load board searches there. And we'll wrap it up for the day. So we'll see you in the truck here in a minute. All right, guys, so back in the truck, had to make an unexpected move. Where I was parked at earlier was kind of up by the pumps. And there's been people, I've been here for 2 hours or so. There's been people kind of backing in and whatnot. I had my little shades up, which one of our viewers commented about when I was out in Kansas the other day. These are the heat shield aluminum covers. They roll up pretty nice. They got little suction cups on them, and they're custom cut for my truck. You can get them for your truck. I got these at Iowa 80. I think I actually ordered these from Iowa 80's website, and they ship them to the house because I don't get by there a lot. I usually skip that area and go a different route. But anyways, I had my shades up and I was parked, and because when I'm in the back of the trailer, I don't want it to look like I'm out of the truck. So I always put my cuff lock, you know, down here, you know, your little Warlock. I always put that on, just so if somebody does figure out a way to get the truck started, it'll take them a little bit longer. You know, I just don't want to take a ride in the back of the trailer when somebody's stealing the truck. So I had my heat shields up, and you wouldn't know whether I was sleeping in here or whatever. And I just had this guy back in next to me, then hit the parked regen button on his truck. I mean, and there's literally, you can see where I'm at here. There's at least 50 spots, right? This out here in the open. And I do forced regens with the PDI a lot on my truck, and like when I do that, I go to the back of the lot away from everybody because I don't want to disturb anybody, because you don't know if the guy's sleeping. So you're gonna back in right next to a guy, hit the parked regen button, and the truck idles up to 900 or 1,000 RPMs, making all fans kicking in and out and everything, and the guy's just sitting there. And it's like, do you not have any common sense, or you do it on purpose, or just I don't know. So I ended up moving because I'm gonna go to sleep after this. And I don't want to interfere with the video as well, the noise from it. So I don't understand. So it just kind of fresh. So I just moved down here where nobody's at. But somebody with a reefer or somebody like that would probably pull up next to me when there's 50 other spots too. So anyways, on to what we're going to talk about. Nails in the floor. I know I'm going to get this question, so I'm going to head it off right now. But I'm probably going to get the question anyways. Probably people are going to ask why do you have nails in your trailer floor? If you've ever done a chemical tanker load with the big chemical totes, they usually put 2x4s, they'll nail them down to kind of chalk against the bottom of those totes. So that's probably the most common place you get nails in your trailer, is when they do that. And some of the receivers, some of them are pretty good about tearing the wood out, and some of them they don't care, it's your problem. Yeah, so that's where they come from, mostly. That's where I've typically got them at. I've done a couple. I hauled these special custom-made pull slides one time out of Baker City, Oregon, and they had to do a lot of cribbing and stuff in there too. So they had some nails, but usually the chemical tote loads is where you're gonna pick those nails up at. Other than that, yeah. So just always read those dispatches when you get those, especially if it's like a third-party thing. Which this one I have, I think this is a C.H. Robinson load or a XPO load, I'm not 100% sure. But always read those details at the bottom for requirements like that, because like I said, you want to be prepared. You don't want to show up there, then have to run around and try to figure something out, especially if you don't have a hammer or any way to get them out. You might be kind of screwed. You might have to cancel the load, and there could be penalties associated with that. So if there's some of these loads, I've seen some of them have $450 miss appointment fees and stuff like that. So always stay out ahead of that stuff, and always read your dispatches and see what the deal is. If you got a food grade trailer, that's why I swept the trailer out again and all that. So anyways, I'll shut up, and we're gonna look at, we had a viewer, subscriber, hope he's a subscriber, ask about loads around Detroit, Michigan, ask for a 50-mile radius. 50 miles is kind of short. I always like to do at least 150. Like my loads coming out of the house, I'm usually looking at 3 to 350, and I've talked about this before, guys. You don't want to disclose yourself to a real small area, because you don't know what else there is. I mean, if you're putting 50 miles, there might be something that's 55 miles that's paying $1 more a mile. And like I said before, I mean, like I said, I've done a whole video on this topic about looking what's out there, and you add in your deadhead. I mean, I've ran over 500 miles deadheaded for loads before, because no, you're not driving for free. I know I get this from people, oh, you're driving for free. No, if the load pays you $1 more, you add 500 miles into a 2,000 mile trip, and you might be making 30 cents more a mile than a load that's right across the street, So always keep that in mind. If you're driving deadhead to a load, and if it's a high paying load and it's a lot of miles or something, you're not driving those miles for free. I mean, you're getting paid to drive there if you figure it in to the load and do the math. And like I said, I've done all this. I've done a whole video on this topic before. And the plus side is you're pulling an empty trailer however, if you're doing 300 miles or 400 miles, whatever, you're pulling an empty trailer, so you can make good time and not use a lot of fuel. So anyways, like I tell people, don't limit yourself. I mean, especially if you're coming out of the house, if you've been at home for a week or something, you're coming out of the house or whatever you do. I open that search up 350, sometimes 5. If I'm not seeing what I like at 350, I open up to 500. And then if you book like say you do book something out and that's why I always stay on top of stay out ahead. I like to be at least a week out ahead with my bookings. Like usually when I'm coming back in off a West Coast trip, I've typically already have my next trip out booked, 2 weeks out before, sometimes even 3 weeks out. before I even get back to my house from the prior trip, because I want to know, okay, I'm going to be home this long, I know what I'm doing, I know where I'm going. And even if I do book something that's a 500-mile deadhead that might pay crazy money, I've got time to find me a short load. Yeah, I mean, I might be able to find something from Ohio to Illinois or Indiana or Kentucky or wherever I'm going, maybe if it's 350, 400 miles. And if you're out ahead of your loads and you have time to coordinate that, you can book that big long load, that big white buffalo load, and you got time to find you a short load that you might be able to pull again. But I always go into it with the thought that I might be deadheading this, so that's something to think about too, that you're not guaranteed that short load. But anyways, we're gonna do Detroit, Michigan. I'm gonna do Dallas, Fort Worth area, and I think we'll do Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm gonna switch it over to the phone here, and we'll do those searches, and then we'll come back and wrap it up. All right, for our first search here, we're gonna do Detroit, 150-mile radius, starting today, the 9th, for 7 days, out to the 16th of March. I got 73,000, almost 74,000 loads on the board today, here on a Tuesday, which surprisingly, seems like I'm usually doing this on a weekend when the volume's a lot less. So we'll see what we got here. So I don't put any, I just did a general search, no destination. I put a minimum of $2.50 revenue, and that gives you roughly $1.65-ish, $1.70 or so to the truck. You know, after Landstar takes their cut, that's the 65% if you have your plus surcharge. And the way you can quickly determine that is with the surcharge and all that, it works out to about 68% roughly, give or take a 0.5%. But if you're trying to figure these loads really quick in your head, which a lot of these times you got to be really quick sometimes. If there's a hot load at post, you might have 30 seconds to call about it, so you got to make a determination really quick. So I mean, for every $1,000, basically you're going to get about 680 or so, 670, 680. Now, if you have your own trailer, of course, you'll probably be up around 740 or 740, 750-ish per $1,000 is a quick way to figure that out. So we got a minimum 250, van group, we'll do hazmat, no team loads. And that's pretty much it for the parameters. So we'll go ahead and search that. Alright, so at the top of the board, actually, we have an Akron, Ohio to Fresno. That's in my backyard, picking up on the 9th. That's almost $8,000, $7,750 on the gross revenue there. 24, almost 2,500 miles, $3.15 a mile, guys. So that load right there to the truck is over $2 a mile. It is 43-pound hazmat, but I'd grab that load up in a heartbeat if I saw it. We'll look at the details on that guy. So yeah, hazmat, and actually down here to tell you, so straight line miles from Detroit's 118 miles, driving miles is going to be 178. So yeah, you got 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th to get out there, so 4 days or 4 nights to get out there. So that's not a bad load. I mean, if I was looking for a load out of the house right now, I'd grab that up right now, or try to. So we'll go see what else is on this. Oh, why'd I do that? Search. All right, it looks like everything's like in my area. We've got Cleveland to California for $7 grand there, 280 a mile, pretty heavy hazmat. Got a Middlefield, Ohio to Pasco, Washington. Almost 7,000, 2,200 miles, paying $312. No idea what that is, so heavy, because usually cabinets come out of Middlefield and they're usually a lot lighter than that. Got a Macedonia, Ohio to Woodland, Washington, 271, 6,600 bucks there on the gross side. All right, we got a Litchfield, Michigan here to Tracy, California, which we was just out at the Costco distribution center out there not too long ago. Looking at 6,500 bucks gross on that, almost 2,300 miles at 287 mile, 35,000 pounds, and that's a good weight. I mean, for going across the mountains there, still in the winter, we're still getting snow, so that's about where I'd like to be. That about 35,000 pounds gives you good traction and not too heavy. A lot of stuff going to California, Oregon, Washington, and like all this stuff is like I like when I do these searches, like nothing is coming out of my area now. Like I do a search for somebody else, and everything's like Akron, Cleveland. Twinsburg's where I parked my trailer at. There's a Twinsburg to Portland, Oregon. Paying $258. Not, I mean, that's not terrible, but like for my standards, you know, as you can see, the freight up in northern Ohio pays, you know, 50 cents more than that. So what else we got here? We got a Warren, Michigan to Golden, Colorado. $6,200. Wow, almost 1,300 miles, paying $487. Almost $5 a mile, guys, on that one. It is going to Colorado or Denver area, but I mean, you'll take a hit coming back. Or if you want to go farther west, you can usually find pretty good loads. And that's less than 30,000 pounds. So there's a Toledo to McCarran, Nevada, out by Vegas. $6,200 gross, 2,100 miles for $292 a mile. A little heavy, 42,000. Then you got a Grand Rapids, Michigan, Columbia Falls, Montana. $6,200 gross, 1,744 miles at $356 a mile. That's only less than 12,000 pounds. So I'm gonna go back to this. What else we got? Trying to find something closer. So that's pretty much my top 100 right there. There's a Chesterfield, Michigan to Reno, $5,500, almost 2,200 miles for $252 a mile. And I wanted to go back to that Golden, Colorado. I want to show you guys something else. Okay, so you guys probably hear, okay, Golden's up by Denver, not a very good area for freight. I mean, it's always been that way. Now what you can do here, you can click on this load if you're interested, and we can go search loads at destination. And this is automatically going to do a search for where we're going to be at with the same parameters that we had set previously. So there's a Rifle, Colorado, which I believe is on the other side of the mountains. You have to go over 70 there, I believe, off the top of my head. It's $5,300, almost 1,900 miles for $282, and that's going over to Burlington, New Jersey if you want to go there, which I prefer not to. Actually, you got a Rifle, Colorado to Kentwood, Michigan, so that'd put you right back in Michigan from Detroit. $3,600, 1,338 miles, $269 a mile. So that wouldn't be a bad trip to grab up that load going out there to Golden for almost $5 a mile, then pick this guy up. I mean, that'd be a pretty good run in my book. So I'm going to wrap it up there with Michigan, and we're going to go down to Dallas, Fort Worth there and see what we got. Alrighty, so all we got to do is change this. Oh, sorry. Alright, keep everything the same. We'll do a search. Alright, so here's your top 100 loads. Now we got Dallas to Fairbanks, Alaska. If only it was a couple more months towards summer. 3,800 miles, that's almost $4 a mile, 15 grand, but most likely you're going to be driving back down here empty, or at least to Washington or come down through Canada. You're probably not going to get a load out of there, but fun experience though. CGI, these are usually FedEx loads. Grand Prairie, Texas to Kent, Washington. Almost $7,000 on 2,000 miles, $339 a mile. Got a Duncanville, Texas, CAN agency. Those are cabinets. That's a multi-stop load. Looks like it has 3 stops. Franklin, Massachusetts, I should say. Paying almost $6,300. Those are light loads, but I know Duncanville, you got to take your trailer to someplace and get it inspected, so it's kind of a hassle, and that's why I've never taken loads out of there, because I'm not doing that. But only 20,000 pound, paying $341 a mile, but you're going to have a couple stops on that. There's a Tyler, Texas to Regina, Saskatchewan, up in Canada, right there. That's paying $6,000, almost 1,600 miles, paying $382, almost $4 a mile on that one. A lot of stuff going to Oregon and Washington, guys. Don't be afraid of the snow. Get up there and get the money. I don't know why. I mean, these are good rates. I mean, you're seeing all these loads here. There's one going to Maine, but Washington, Oregon, Washington, British Columbia. I mean, all of these are obviously above 250, but a lot of these you're approaching $3. So I don't know why people want to lay around stay down there like below I-40, below I-10, I-20, or whatever. You know, working for peanuts for the most part. So throw the chains on and don't be afraid of it. So it's all part of it. Terrell, Texas to Seabrook, New Hampshire. What do we got on that? Almost $5,600 gross for 1,765 miles, $315 a mile, 35,000 pounds. So a lot of stuff. There's a Carson City, McKinney, Texas to Carson City, Nevada. $5,000, 1,666 miles, $3 a mile. So yeah, not too bad. A lot of stuff going upstate. Schenectady, New York there, Dallas. $4,500 gross, 1,618 pounds, $278 a mile, 40,000 pounds. There's a Temple, Texas to Syracuse, New York, which I don't mind running. I like upstate New York. I just don't like getting down around the city. I like running I-86. I-90 is not even that bad, so I don't mind going up there. It's just a little bit tricky to find stuff back out. So we'll look at that. Where was I at? Syracuse, that's what I wanted to look at. So we're going to check out this Syracuse, New York. There's 90 loads at the destination. See what there is coming back or out. So you got a Fairport, New York to Hutchins, Texas, right there on the top. 4,400 bucks, guys. 1,432 miles, 308 a mile, 43,000 pounds. There's two of those on here. There's a Fort Hood, Texas, out of Montoursville, PA, not too far away, 130 miles, paying $4,000, 1,500 miles, 262 a mile, 25,000 pounds. So there's loads coming back to Texas, and get some Cowpen, South Carolina down there. If you want to run down there, 318 a mile. So yeah, not too bad. All right, this is getting kind of long. See, last but not least here, we'll check out Charlotte, North Carolina real quick and see what the top loads are. If I spelled that wrong. All right, so we got a CAN load right here, top one on the board, Martinsville, Virginia to Cerritos, I know I'm probably screwing that up, California. That's a multi-stop load, and it's denoted by the number 7 right there. It's got probably 7 stops. That's paying almost $10,500, guys. 3,200 miles, 323 a mile. It's not a bad load. Grovetown, Georgia to Fife, Washington, right down there by Tacoma. Been there several times. $9,000, guys. 2,754 miles, 327. So like I said, don't be afraid of it. Get the money. You're gonna do it sometime. We got a Grovetown, Georgia to Baker City, Oregon. Been there several times. Nice little Baker City truck route down there. It's a fine little place to stay. And I think there's actually like a little microbrew place like right downtown. It's pretty cool. Got pretty good food and stuff in there. So that one there, guys, like I said, that's just right over in the Oregon, from not too far, maybe 150 miles from Boise on I-84. That guy there is 2,700 miles basically, paying $316 a mile, 14,000 pounds. I would grab that up in a heartbeat. And that's got me written all over it. Like I said, a lot of Washington and Oregon guys on here, and this stuff is all paying good money. I mean, you're looking at 270, 267, 274, 286, 290, 295. Yeah, a lot of that stuff on here. Yeah, pretty much everything in the top. Some Modesto, California right there. 2,500 miles, 275, 15,000 pounds, $7,000 gross. So a lot of good load. There's Calgary, Alberta on here. That one's paying almost 260, so it's not a very good rate for going across the border, in my opinion. Hudson, North Carolina to Los Angeles, California, 6 grand, 2,360 miles, 254. So then Charlotte to Charlotte here, guys. These are LTL loads where you're going to be pulling their trailers and their round trip. So you're going to be running. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah. So that pay rate's probably an estimate on here. So all miles paid, loaded and empty, no doubles. Loads available daily. So this is basically like central transport. So you're basically like subleasing on through an agent to Central Transport, and you're going to go from their terminals and haul their trailers is basically what you're going to do. So sometimes you can pick those deals up and they can be pretty lucrative. I mean, if you just want to get into a gig like that. So those are out there too at Landstar. So, but you never know. You're kind of at whatever they want you to do for the most part. But I mean, you can always leave the account and go back to doing regular stuff. So those opportunities are on here too. So really good searches, I think, on here today. I'm pretty impressed, and I'm disappointed that like everything, when I'm out on the road, everything's coming out of Akron and Cleveland or Twinsburg or where, like right in my backyard. So at $3 plus a mile for that stuff. So pretty exciting stuff. With that, I'm going to shut this down and we'll wrap it up here. All right, so I hope you all enjoyed the load board there. So a lot of good opportunities, and again, you guys, all those searches, the top paying loads, you guys see where they're going. So I mean, if you want to make the big money out here, you go where the money is. So I mean, there's certain places that I don't go. I don't like coming to the south. I mean, I don't do Texas a lot. I mean, unless there's some flukes out there, and a fluke is a good thing when you see a really good paying load. You know, I've had a couple loads down to South Texas, down in the Laredo area, McAllen area, that paid, you know, after Christmas, that were paying like upwards of $6 a mile to run down there. So when I see stuff like that, I'll do that type of stuff. But typically, like Texas and east along the I-10, I-20 corridors, all the way up into like Virginia, like Florida's no go. Like that whole area, I stay away from there for. And it's mainly income driven, guys. I mean, the rates are not very good. I mean, typically what I see, and I don't like the way people drive down here. Flat out. I mean, I was just coming down I-10 here from Lake Charles. I'm over here, like I said, at Egan, Louisiana, at the Petro, and like I drove 50 miles. I was going to drive all the way over there, and I just said the stupidity started. That you know, the passive aggressive thing. I got to be in front. Then I had one guy in a car that was just I'm not going to get into it. I just shut it down, parked. I'll run over there about 2 o'clock in the morning tonight and park across the street, because I'm going to drive the night after that anyway, so it don't matter, don't make a difference. So I just rather not deal with it. So like I said, there's places I don't go, like especially in the Northeast. I can get decent stuff going in there, but like if I go to Connecticut or something, if I take a cross country, you know, if I take a load out of Washington or California to Connecticut, I typically end up driving all the way back to Ohio, just driving home empty, because I'm not going to pull 45,000 pounds of food products to an Aldi or someplace where I'm going to get screwed for 6 or 8 hours for $1 a mile or $1.20. I'm not going to waste my time, you know, for $500 or something, you know, gross. It just ain't worth it. So I mean, there's a lot of areas that are off that I don't typically go, but like I said, the number one thing is that it starts with the income. I mean, if there's a lot of money involved, I'll make do and I'll do what I got to do, and that's why I said I run across, you know, Montana in the winter, Washington, Oregon, Wyoming, go across Donner there, and Nevada, California, because that's what pays, and you guys have seen it. That's what pays. So. If like I said, if you want to make that big money, then, you know, strap it on, chain him up, and you know, go on with life, and is what it is. So like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I'm gonna go ahead and get on. I've talked way too long. This was supposed to be about a 20-minute video, and it's probably twice that. So like I said, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys. You guys always watch out. We're always on the Landstar stuff, owner-op stuff, truck maintenance stuff. Farming stuff's coming up pretty soon. We're gonna get back in the field. Weather's turning. I got a lot of more equipment maintenance and stuff to do, so watch out for that stuff. And again, we appreciate all the nice comments and everything, and the likes. Like I said, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell for the updates and all that, so you can always get the newest stuff. So with that, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.